Today's workout is a 20-minute advanced diastasis recti strength workout. If you've healed your diastasis recti and are looking to challenge your whole body with weights, then this workout is for you. It's advanced, so make sure you've done my beginner workouts first. We'll use a set of moderate to heavy dumbbells and a mat. Let's get started. Hey mamas, welcome to today's workout. I've got a 20-minute full body advanced diastasis recti strength workout. That's a mouthful. So this workout's advanced, assuming you're working on healing your DR or have mostly healed your DR. We're going to be using weights, maybe a lighter and a heavier set for lower body and upper body, and then a step, bench, and a towel, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that later. Grab your heavier set of weights. We're going to begin with a sumo squat. So take your feet wide, turn the toes out, and rack the weights between the thighs. We're going to squat down, exhale, stand up. Push the knees out, exhale, squeeze your butt, and drive the hips underneath the shoulders. Now you're keeping your chest up as you hinge forward into that squat. You're pushing your butt back and down to about 90 degrees, and that's just above knees, or maybe knee level if you can get it there. You don't have to touch the floor, but you might naturally touch the floor if you're going into a deep squat. Now we're gonna use our breath a lot in this workout. So I want you to exhale on the lift to the top and engage your core by breathing out through pursed lips, and that's gonna help fire up those deep core and pelvic floor muscles and the diaphragm as well. Now we've got a 15-second rest, so it's a little bit shorter intervals, 45 seconds, 15 off. We're gonna take one dumbbell, or both if you've got lighter weights. We're gonna come to a wall sit. So find the wall, place your back against the wall, and then place your feet about hip width apart, rest the dumbbell or dumbbells on your thighs. Now, at any point in this workout, you can go weight free. You can remove the dumbbells. You can do most of these, aside from a couple, with body weight. But it is an advanced workout, so that means we might be using heavier weights. We're increasing the exercise stimulus, making them more challenging on the full body and as well on the core. And that's a big part of healing diastasis recti and maintaining core healing. We want to progressively overload the core and learn how to optimize our core function within the context of full body movement. So this, we're just breathing normally in and out through pursed lips. And we're going to repeat that first round. So carefully come out of that wall sit, grab your dumbbells, and again, you can use one or two here for that sumo squat. We're going to go wide again with the feet, bring the dumbbells between the thighs, squat down, and rise. I started a little early there. I started late on the last one though, so we're going to make up for that. Really powerful push out of the heels and the outside edges of your feet. That's going to fire the glutes. Again, the biggest muscle in our core and a huge component of improving your core function. Healing diastasis recti is having strong glutes. Keeping that chest up, good posture throughout. Even when you're leaning forward, you're not rounding the upper back. There's a little bit of a tension between shoulder blades. Continuing to use that breath, engaging that deep core and pelvic floor. Good work. All right, drop one dumbbell, come to the wall. You've got a few seconds. Use this time to kind of let that heart rate drop down, recover a little bit, and then work your way back down the wall. Find that position, 90 degrees at the knees here. Make sure that dumbbell is about a fist distance above the knees or a little bit higher. You don't want it pressing on the knees. I'm bracing my abs here, keeping maybe a little bit of space between the lower back and the wall, but not much. Pressing through all four corners of my feet. You should still be able to wiggle your toes though. You're not gripping through the toes. Relaxing the shoulders, just breathe into it. And we need deep breaths here because this one sucks. I'm just gonna say it. It's tough. And then just be mindful. I like to put one foot back, kind of stagger my feet to get up from that. Or if you have a soft surface, throw the dumbbell down. This mat is perfect for that. If you want to know which mat to use, put it in the description. Okay, feet under hips. We're gonna go to a deadlift. So I'll show you from the side. One dumbbell out on the side of each leg, hinge forward from the hip 90 degrees or coming down to where your back is parallel to the floor. So push the hips back, Drive out of the heels, exhale as you rise. Just like that squat, we exhale as we rise. The eccentric phase of the exercise. So that's where we're engaging glutes, hamstrings, deep core and pelvic floor from the bottom up. And we're using our diaphragm, our breathing to help maintain proper abdominal pressure. And that is the most important thing for healing diastasis recti, is learning how to manage that abdominal pressure while under tension with weights. And that's in both core exercises, but also full body. Okay, we're gonna keep the weights, option to put them down. We're gonna use one leg at a time for a single leg deadlift. So what we're gonna do is take one leg forward, one leg back. I'll show you two options. First option, keep the weights, hinge forward from the hip, keep that back foot on the floor. So we're pushing the hips back, back, back. So it's the same thing, just one foot is back slightly and the load is in the front leg primarily. So I want you to think about 90% of that weight is in the front leg. You're pushing through the front heel, exhaling as you squeeze your glutes and come to the top. Second level would be to elevate, extend that back leg as you hinge. It's a little bit of a timing and a coordination thing. So don't worry if it's too difficult, if you can't get it right away. Take your time, go slow. You will have a knee bend, a micro bend in that front leg. And then as the back leg extends, we want to try not to open the hip. We want to try to keep the toes pointed to the ground, heel up in that back leg as we reach to the ground. Okay, we're going to repeat that set back to the deadlift. So remember, you want a nice straight back, squeeze shoulder blades together, elbows in. Okay, we're going to go back parallel to the floor, squeeze glutes to rise. Brace that core. Exhale. We really want to keep the weights close to the legs and keep that squeeze between shoulder blades here. That's going to allow us to keep that strength in the back body and manage that core pressure like we talked about. Couple more seconds. Good work. All right, quick shakeout. I know your grip strength is probably being challenged here as well. We're gonna go to the other side on that single leg deadlift. So I'll show you two levels. Again, you can always do it without the weights too. So hinge forward, remember 90-10. That back leg is like a kickstand. It's primarily for balance. The heel is up. Squeeze that glute in the front leg. Now you're probably fatiguing. Check in with your form. Do you need to slow down? Do you need to decrease the repetitions or lower the weight? If you want to, go ahead, elevate that back leg. Slow and controlled here. Really reaching for the floor. Balance and stability training, another really important piece of healing diastasis recti and improving your core function. Okay, we're gonna come onto the mat. We're gonna do some upper body now. So if you've got lighter weights, grab those now. We're gonna begin with a body weight exercise first. So what we're going to do is a kneeling tricep press. So you're on your knees, you're gonna bring your hands in front of your shoulders. You can have your knees back or under the hips. We'll start a little easier. So hands wider than shoulders or further in front of shoulders. We're gonna touch the elbows to the ground. Exhale, push up. So it's a kneeling tricep press. We touch the elbows just gently to the ground. So you want your arms in front of your shoulders. If they're too far back, it's going to be really hard to get that full range of motion. So bring them out front. It's going to be different for everybody depending on the length of your arms. Now this is a little bit easier for your abs. If you want to make it harder, take your knees wide, walk them back. So you're in more of a plank position. And you want to keep those elbows in at the tricep press. So the elbows aren't flaring out. And we're pushing through the heels of those hands. You might not be able to get your elbows all the way down, and that's not a problem. Just get as close as you can. Okay, we're gonna grab the weights now, knees under hips. We're gonna stay in a kneeling position, but you can stand up if you'd like to. We're gonna do a wide bicep curl. So take your dumbbells, turn them out, elbows close to your ribs, and we're gonna bring the weights up to the shoulder line and then down to the thighs again. So keeping the palms up, exhale, as you bring those weights up. Using that deep core diaphragm. Keeping those elbows in will increase the load to the biceps, which is exactly what we want to do. In these shorter intervals, we're trying to get to the point where we are close to failure by the end of each set, where we're slowing down, where maybe we have to drop the weights, where we're really, really struggling those last couple reps. That's what we want. If we're not quite there and we've got good technique, it's a good sign we need to add weight if we're not reaching any of those failure cues. Okay, we're gonna repeat that last set, going again on the tricep press. So again, knees can be under the hips or knees can be back behind for a little more challenge for the abs. Hands in front of the shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you might find you need to play around with the distance. The further away the hands are as well, that's gonna make it harder on your abs. So you might bring them in a little bit, but again, just the ability to kiss those elbows to the ground and then push up is gonna give us the stimulus we want to strengthen that upper body. And again, the core is working with it. A huge part of having a functional core, like I said, is learning how to manage that abdominal pressure, not just when we're doing ab exercises, but when we're doing other exercises too. Because most exercises, in fact, all exercises, I don't think I can think of one where you don't have to use your core. Some you're not gonna feel it, but it's a big component of every exercise. Okay. Now we are gonna go back to those wide bicep curls, and you can stand on your feet. Being on the knees adds more stability, imbalance, so it's gonna challenge your core more. I think I said it adds more stability. It takes away the stability. That's what I meant. It's more of a stability challenge. So keep those palms facing out. Slow, controlled reps and extend all the way down. We want to complete the reps, so the dumbbell should hang a little bit at the bottom. Keep those elbows close. You might rock a little bit, but try to minimize that trunk movement. Try not to arch your back to compensate. If you do that, if you are doing that, those are good signs. You should just stand up and do it that way. It's going to work the arms just as well. Like I said, this just adds more of a core challenge being on the knees. Okay, we're going to go to push-ups, walking push-ups. So make sure you have some space. We're gonna move across the mat. So take your hands wider than your shoulders, shoulders over your wrists this time so they're closer to your body. We're gonna push up. I'm gonna show you on the knees and we're gonna walk across, push up, and then walk back. So you can see as my knees are together, I'm doing a push up. My knees come apart when I walk the hands together. And when the hands go wide again, knees go together. Exhale on that push up. Using that deep core pelvic floor. And we're going chest to elbow level here. And if you'd like to make it a little more challenging, you know what to do. Get on the toes. It's a little bit of a coordination thing. Opposite hand, opposite leg is moving. I messed it up too, so don't sweat it. I do these all the time, and even I kind of get confused sometimes. Okay, now we're gonna do some kneeling shoulder rotations. So we're gonna come back to knees. This time take one leg in front, so you've got 90 degrees each knee. Here we go. We're gonna take those dumbbells wide, 90 degrees, open, stacking the dumbbells above the elbows, come back to 90 degrees, and then reset. Tuck those elbows in. Did you hear the breathing? So we're gonna do one big exhale. One big inhale at the bottom. And that's gonna, like I said, fire up that deep core and pelvic floor the whole time the weights are away from the body. And this one's tough. If you've got light weights, you may need lighter. You may need to drop the weights for a few sets. I know for me, the shoulders are not as strong as my biceps, so one more. And you can also do those in standing for the next set if you need to. We are gonna go back to that walking push-up, so make sure you have space again. And I kind of took up half my mat, but if you have more space, you can definitely do more across than just two if you want to go further each side. But this is still effective even if you're just going 2 across. You don't need a lot of space. Bring in that chest to elbow height. Exhale. Again, push-ups, of course, are working the arms, but you may not think about how much this is working your core. Make sure you're not lifting your hips as you're lifting up in that push-up. Keep your hips below shoulders. You may not be able to tell if they're in the right position, so I always recommend, if you can, try to do these in a mirror to really get a good look at your technique. And that's gonna help you only improve it. Okay, come back to that kneeling position. We're gonna go for those kneeling shoulder rotations again. So you can stay here, opposite leg goes in front now, or you can come to the toes, feet under hips. It's heavy, so I'm going kind of fast once I get up there. But if you have lighter weights or you just need to slow it down, that's okay too. When you take those weights away and then when you take them up overhead, that's gonna challenge the core a lot. So we wanna make sure we can manage that abdominal pressure, always checking for any signs of that diastasis recti, compensation, coning, doming, feeling in the low back, anything like that, or any just lapse in technique are good cues to know, okay, we either need to reduce weight, we need to add stability, things like that. Okay, we're gonna do a weighted hip thrust. Grab your towel, place it on the edge of your box or step, whatever you have. You need something to elevate your upper back. So I want your upper back on the bench, stairs, whatever you've got. Carefully grab a weight, and if you're new to these, I would suggest no weight to start. Place it on the lap, and then you want your heels close to your butt, but far enough away to where you can thrust the hips up and be at about a 90-degree angle. So when you drop down, tuck your chin, keep your chin tucked as you drive the hips up, squeeze your butt at the top, push down through your heels. So you're dropping the hips close to the ground and thrusting them up. There we go. Lots of load going to those glutes, and that's what we want. All right, carefully sit all the way down and take the weight off to the side. Now we're gonna turn it around using our bench, step, whatever you got, for a single leg bridge. So pick a leg, any leg. Option to add the weight or not, your choice. We're gonna put that one leg with the weight over it on the bench. Other leg is gonna come up. We're gonna drive the hip up and down, pushing through that heel that's on the bench, using the breath here. Now there's lots going on here. So if you've never done these before, you can take the elevation out, do these with the heel on the floor, or take the weight out. Take the weight, put it to the side, come here. You can also extend this leg here or keep it bent like I've got, or put both legs down. There's lots of options to be successful here. Couple more here, and then we're gonna repeat again. Man, that's tough. Okay, I've got a lot of stuff over here. I'm a little disorganized today. Okay, grab your towel. We're gonna go back to those weighted hip thrusts, with or without the weight. So upper back, shoulder blades across the bench, or whatever you've got. I'm just using a 12-inch step. I've got it linked if you want it. I gotta walk the feet out just a little bit to where you can feel that good alignment here. You can tap the hips on the ground if you want to. Squeeze those glutes. Keep the chin tucked. I'm using a towel. Did anybody get a towel for their high school graduation with their name embroidered on it? You probably have one. I'm using one of those towels today. They're like the multi-purpose towels for cleaning, for if someone's got the stomach bug or this. So that's what I'm using today. But you can use a pillow too, or if your bench doesn't have a sharp edge, you don't need a towel necessarily, but mine does. All right, carefully come all the way down, sit up, remove the weight. Okay, we're gonna finish with that single leg bridge. So remove the towel. We're gonna take that dumbbell onto the opposite leg. Just be very mindful of that dumbbell. If it's heavy, you're picking it up very carefully. All right, heel on the bench. Using that breath, exhale, engaging deep core, pelvic floor. This is a tough set, you guys, especially to end with. Lots going on, complex movements, heavy weights. All right, if you need to, I'm gonna put it down for the last 12 seconds. Really finish strong with my technique. Sometimes that's better. Again, figuring out where you're at in your diastasis recti healing journey. Even if you're just starting a few years later, you can always continue that healing process. All right, we are done. Whew. That was our workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you found that particularly challenging, if you're a beginner, I should have said this at the beginning, but if you are a true beginner, I would suggest going back to my first series, my Diastasis Recti repair plan, plus my Diastasis Recti workouts. I have a strength, cardio, and interval training workout on my channel that are more beginner friendly. Now, this could be made maybe a little bit more beginner friendly depending on the weights you use, or more advanced, same thing. And it's one you could continue to build upon. So if you have questions in the comments, let me know. I always try to respond, you know that. If you have any questions about products I'm using, like I mentioned, the bench and the mat, linked in the description, or if you want a progressive plan on healing your core and improving your full body strength, including strength, HIIT, cardio, toning, yoga, stretch workouts, all of the good stuff. I have my YouTube guides on my website, and they're also linked in the description below. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you back here for our next workout together.